in a game show studio shows Phil Hartman in a suit who says, "Hello, I'm Hill Fartman, and welcome to this week's installment of Hurting Jesus, where our contestants have to choose between quite a moral quandary, whether to hurt Jesus and help people, or not hurt Jesus and let people suffer." Hartman walks over to Gilda Radner as a contestant and says, "Okay, Gwendolyn, are you ready?" Radner, "I sure am." Hartman, "Your quandary is this. You have to slap Jesus to save 20 Guatemalans from a hurricane. If you choose not to slap Jesus, our producers will let 20 Guatemalans die from a hurricane. But if you choose to slap Jesus, the 20 will be saved. What do you choose?" Radner, "Oh boy, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to choose slapping Jesus." Hartman, "Jesus, come on out." Chris Farley as Jesus comes out from backstage and walks towards Hartman and Radner. Hartman, "As you no doubt heard backstage, Jesus, our contestant Gwendolyn has chosen to save 20 Guatemalans from a hurricane, but that means slapping you." Farley, "Okay, at least it's good for the Guatemalans." Hartman, "Okay, Gwendolyn, get slapping." Radner approaches Farley and slaps him so hard he falls over. Hartman, "Wow, what a slap! Do you know what that means for our Guatemalans?" Shows on a monitor 20 Guatemalans being rounded up by producers and driven away from a hurricane. Hartman walks over to Jan Hooks as a contestant and says, "Our next contestant is Mary. Mary, you have to choose between electrocuting Jesus' nipples or instead allowing a puppy to be crushed by a pile of bricks." On the monitor shows a puppy wagging his tail while there's a large pile of bricks being held over his head by a forklift. Hooks, "Oh my God! I love puppies, but I can't electrocute Jesus. He's my Lord and Savior. I'm a Christian." Hartman, "So are you choosing to kill the puppy?" Hooks, No. I'm sorry, Jesus, but I'm going to have to choose electrocuting you." Farley, "Damn it!" Hooks goes up to Farley, removes his robe, and clasps pliers to Farley's nipples. Hooks then walks up to a machine attached to the pliers and moves a switch. Suddenly Farley's electrocuted and falls down from the electric shock. On the monitor it shows the puppy being moved to safety before the forklift drops a pile of bricks. Hartman walks over to Norm MacDonald as a contestant and says, "Okay, we have just one more contestant, Stu. Stu, you have to choose between having Jesus anally raped or not helping a man who has a headache." On the monitor shows John Belushi sitting at a table holding his head in his hands. Hartman, "If you choose to have Jesus raped, this man will be given Advil for his headache. But if you choose not to have Jesus raped, that poor man will not get any relief from his headache." MacDonald, "Would I have to do the raping myself?" Hartman, "Goodness no, we have a slew of male prostitutes in the back who will do the deed." Farley, "Please no, sir, it's just a headache." MacDonald, "Boy, I really don't want Jesus to get gang raped by a bunch of male prostitutes. But a headache is a headache. Those can be tough. Hartman, "Whenever you're ready, Stu." MacDonald, "Well, I don't think I'd be much of a man to let another man suffer the indignity of a headache. I'm going to have to choose having Jesus raped." Farley, "Are you kidding me?" On the monitor shows Belushi being given Advil and a glass of water. Shows crew members drag Farley towards backstage who yells, "No!" Hartman, "Hurting Jesus, it's tough on Christ, but for the guy who had a headache, it's awful nice. And dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Not Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Marianne Faithfull, and your host, Gene Hackman. Everybody, Gene Hackman. Applause, applause, applause. shows Hackman on stage who says, thank you, thank you. I was an actor. In a career that spanned over 4 decades, I received 2 Academy Awards, 2 British Academy Film Awards, and 4 Golden Globe Awards. Applause, applause, applause. Hackman. I never hosted Saturday Night Live, but if you ask the AI Grok, it says I hosted not once but twice. In 1987 during season 12 and in 1990 during season 16. Go figure. Norm Macdonald comes out and says, Hackman! Hackman! Hackman. Can I help you, sir? McDonald. Well, Hackman, I was hoping you could talk a little bit about your career. Your opening statement was kind of barren. Hackman. What do you want to know? McDonald. Well, what was it like being in The French Connection? Unforgiven? Or Bonnie and Clyde? Hackman. They were all wonderful movies, and I enjoyed making all of them. McDonald. That was bland. How about just giving us your motivational speech from Hoosiers? Hackman. All right. There's a tradition in tournament play to not talk about the next step until you've climbed the one in front of you. I'm sure going to the state finals is beyond your wildest dreams, so let's just keep it right there. Forget about the crowds, the size of the school, their fancy uniforms. You remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals that we've gone over time and time again. And most important, don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing up to your potential to be the best you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game. In my book, we're going to be winners. Applause, applause, applause. Hackman. This isn't so bad. Maybe I should have hosted SNL after all. Anyway, folks, we have a great show tonight. Marianne Faithfull is here, so stick around. We'll be right back.